The rustling leaves and the distant hoot of an owl welcomed us to the heart of the wilderness. It was supposed to be a simple camping trip, a chance to escape the city's noise and reconnect with nature. My friends and I were eager for a weekend of laughter, s'mores, and starlit skies. Little did we know that the tranquil forest would soon transform into a realm of terror beyond our imagination. As we pitched our tents near the edge of the Whispering Woods, an eerie feeling gnawed at my insides. The name itself seemed to whisper secrets of an ancient darkness lurking within the trees. But we laughed off our unease, attributing it to campfire stories and overactive imaginations. The first night was peaceful. We sat around the campfire, trading stories and sharing laughter, feeling invincible in our cozy circle of light. The shadows danced playfully, occasionally stretching toward us as if trying to join the festivities. In those moments, the unease crept back, but we dismissed it as nothing more than the flickering flames playing tricks on our eyes. As the fire dwindled and embers smoldered, we retreated to our tents. Sleep didn't come easily that night. I tossed and turned, my mind plagued by strange dreams of whispers on the wind and looming figures in the dark. When morning finally broke, I emerged from my tent, my friends already gathered around the fire, their expressions grave. "There's something out there," Jenna said, her voice barely above a whisper. I followed her gaze, my heart pounding as I saw the trees swaying in an unnatural rhythm. It was as if the very forest itself was breathing. Panic set in, and we decided to pack up and leave. But no matter which direction we turned, the path seemed to twist and turn, leading us deeper into the Whispering Woods. Hours passed, and the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch and contort as if alive. The once familiar trees now appeared twisted and sinister, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. Our flashlights flickered, casting feeble beams that fought to penetrate the thick darkness. With each step, the air grew colder, and a heavy silence settled around us. It was as if the forest was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The sense of being watched intensified, and I couldn't shake the feeling that we were intruders in a world not meant for us. The path led us to a clearing, and in its center stood a dilapidated cabin, its wooden walls weathered and worn. Jenna hesitated, her voice trembling as she whispered, "We have to go inside. Maybe there's a phone or some way to find our way back." Reluctantly, we entered the cabin. The air inside was thick and musty, the silence broken only by the creaking of the floorboards beneath our feet. Dust-covered furniture lined the walls, and faded photographs stared down at us from their frames. It was as if time had frozen within these decaying walls. As we searched the cabin for any sign of communication, a cold breeze swept through the room, extinguishing our flashlights. Panic surged within us as we fumbled in the darkness. A soft, chilling whisper echoed through the cabin, sending shivers down our spines. "Get out," the voice hissed, barely audible yet impossible to ignore. We stumbled over each other, racing for the door, but it seemed to move further away with each step. The walls seemed to shift and close in around us, trapping us in this nightmare. Desperation fueled our efforts, and finally, with a burst of energy, we burst through the door and back into the night. The forest had become a labyrinth, its paths twisting and distorting before our eyes. The moonlight cast elongated shadows that seemed to reach out and grab at us. Jenna's scream pierced the air as something unseen brushed against her arm. We ran blindly, driven by sheer terror, our hearts pounding in our chests. Hours or maybe minutes passed in a blur of panic and confusion. Exhaustion began to take its toll, and we collapsed on the forest floor, gasping for breath. The whispers grew louder, their words unintelligible yet filled with a malevolent intent. In our weakened state, we heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps approaching. Our heads snapped up, and through the trees emerged figures, twisted and distorted, neither fully human nor entirely otherworldly. They moved with an unnatural grace, their eyes gleaming with a sickly yellow light. "Welcome," they whispered in unison, their voices a haunting chorus. "You are now part of the Whispering Woods." As they closed in, the very trees seemed to come alive, their branches snaking and curling like serpents, entwining around us and lifting us off the ground. The air grew colder and the world around us twisted and contorted, a nightmarish kaleidoscope of fear and agony. In that moment, I realized the true horror of a place where reality and nightmare collided, where the boundaries between life and death, sanity and madness, were blurred beyond recognition. And as darkness consumed my vision, I knew that our camping trip had gone horribly wrong, and we were forever lost to the chilling embrace of the forest's malevolent secrets.